on a hill above the sea. Power in the voice of a supporter, but it all amounts to nothing. Together we don't sing. There's power when we're North Boys seas. And today go forever, Old Town scenery. Valley and mountain shine brown to the sea. And the colors of our rainbow, sunset orange, Tory green. There's power when we're North Boys seas. ST loyal forever, someday North County. Desert to islands, come out now you and me. All our voices strong together as we cheer on our team. There is power when we're North
Welcome, everyone,
What's up?
to this week's edition of the Loyal Locals podcast. Got a good crew with us tonight. A few weeks ago, it was myself, Nick, and Tom, but we kicked Tom out, thank goodness. And we got someone else very special with us today, someone very familiar to all. But quick introductions in case you don't know who we are, in which case you've probably been living under a rock. I myself am Nate Wiggins, member of Congress, and I will let these two fine gentlemen introduce themselves.
Yeah, I'm Nick Duffy, Director of Stadium Operations, and the Crazy Capo.
He is crazy. And I am Drew Stack. I am your art and creative director. And I happily threw Tom Blick out tonight to be here with these gentlemen and be able to hang out with them. So I appreciate you guys showing up. And got a lot to talk about as well. We got so many things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, big week not only for us here in San Diego, but just throughout the soccer world in general. We've got World Cup qualifying. We have the World Cup draw that just happened. We've obviously got a huge match coming up tomorrow, a historic match, not only for this club, but for Albion as well. We've got also what's going on in the league, a team off to a great start. So plenty of stuff to talk about. But
Right.
like I said, just getting into how things have been just in the world of soccer. I mean, World Cup qualifiers last week. Very, very happy. Well, everyone here is happy, I would say.
Right. USL doesn't take an international break, right? So it is one of those cases where we lose our players, and in this case, just one with Nico. But it was interesting to watch have stake with one of our players in an international qualifier. So pretty cool for you, Nick, as well. And hopefully we'll see you make it in here. No offense to Costa Rica fans.
We are maybe 90 minutes away from a loyal player playing in the World Cup, so it's pretty freaking crazy.
Right.
Yeah,
that's where I love it. So it was a fun week. It seems like anybody, if you're in North America, your team's going to the World Cup. So that's pretty great for everybody here too. So pretty fun ramp up there, and also in the small court here in Soccer Town, USA. That's what I'm going to call it now. The Sockers did accomplish what most had assumed at this point, which is clinch out as the 1 seed, and they're going to the playoffs as well. So shout out to them, shout out to Brujos, Del Chavos, and you're looking at Jason Radcliffe and everybody went to the game this week. So it's been fun to see locals all over town, right? Soccer's matches on the patio at O'Brien's, kind of for both post match and during these qualifiers. So crazy week, and we have 6 matches in three matches in 6 days coming up, right? Between what happened on Sunday, what happens tomorrow, and then Saturday. So
if you guys can see my mouth moving while I'm sitting here, it's because I'm sucking on throat lozenges to get my throat ready for Wednesday. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk next week with a Wednesday game, Saturday game, potentially another Wednesday game.
Yeah, I mean,
just make sure you don't lose your voice, man.
Yeah.
Seeing you yesterday, I was like, am I talking to Batman here? Like it was, very, very raspy. Very, very raspy. But with all that's gone on in the soccer sphere, again, throughout the world and here locally in Southern California, specifically San Diego, last week after our show on Tuesday, on Wednesday, Tony from Two Balls had the opportunity to sit down with Andrew Carlton, obviously a player that has been much discussed here, amongst the locals, amongst Javos. And I thought that was a tremendous interview. Shout out to Tony. Always does a tremendous job with Two Balls. And I felt like it was something that it was something that we all needed, something that we all fought for, and to have that interview, I think, was really, really special.
Yeah,
right. I think if you're a supporter in this culture, that's kind of required viewing. Nick.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say shout out to the leadership having the conversations behind the scenes, especially Steve. I know he had a crazy week, crazy busy with work, and then trying to deal with some not so pleasant conversations behind the scenes with the club, and just trying to get things done. And everybody that was like behind the scenes trying to get this interview to happen. Shout out to you guys, and then shout out to Tony, of course, as well, to be able to pull off an interview with such little turnaround, and then to go on holiday the next day. Like, I mean, it's crazy. But you can go check that out under Two Balls. Definitely go check it out if you haven't seen it.
Their YouTube page, Two Balls and a Mic. Right.
Definitely required viewing for any member.
Yeah, I think it just get a sense of what's going on there. And again, shout out Tony, and he really represented the community, I think, in that interview, just even more than he does, on his everyday show, but really tried to channel what the questions that you would want to ask, as a member, and that you had been asking us and channeling to us. So it's definitely something you want to check out if you haven't already. And again, just something that, tells a story of where this player is coming from. But I'm excited to see what we did on the field this week, really. That was the bigger story this weekend, was kind of coming back and establishing ourselves in a way that seemed to be, back on track, back on form after maybe some hiccups with Tulsa and getting those 3 points here against El Paso. That was pretty exciting for us, I think, as a group. And Nick killed it as a capo this week. Just fantastic job. Shout out to you, man, for capoing this week, because it's hard in those day games. I feel like your throat gets closed up more. It's just,
with the weather
more. Yeah, right. I
feel
like
my sinuses close, and then
we had everything working against us. We had rain beforehand, which isn't great when you're trying to do a TIFO. So shout out rain. Shout out to capo.
It was good to be back.
From Nick. Yeah.
2 games on
the
the road.
Bleachers weren't too wet. Yeah.
2 games on the road, destroying our rivals in their own home, and then to finally come back after what it felt like a long month of a week. It was nice.
Yeah, and I was really happy with how sometimes after a big win, like you get one away against your big rivals, there can kind of be a letdown, particularly when you're playing a team that El Paso is frankly not as good as we are. But the boys really stepped up, and basically from the jump, we're putting pressure on them. Probably could have scored, we scored 3, probably could have scored 3 or 4 just in that first half.
That first half was probably one of the best halves I've ever seen from Loyal. It was so much fun to watch.
I don't understand how the XG wasn't higher, right? That's the kind of thing everybody keeps talking about, is it seems like there was more to gain there in terms of that, and the statistics don't prove it out. But I think we all felt it. We had so many chances there. We had so many looks in on goal that felt good. And El Paso is a better team than the record shows, but we did what we were supposed to do as a good team and beat them. So held on and established a decent defensive front at the end. But, particularly, and I know Nick feels very strongly about this, I'll let him say something about it in a second, but there is a sense of, as the fans go, the team goes. When we are strong, the team is strong. And I did feel at the end of that second half, we were just a little bit back. So as supporters, I want to just say, hey, everybody, not call anybody out in particular, but say we need to finish games as well, just like the team. So if that's ever something you've said about the club, you got to look in the mirror first as a supporter if we're there. So, Nick, I'll give you a soapbox here for a couple seconds.
Yeah, we hear from the club all the time, right? They really appreciate the atmosphere that we generate, and that it does affect the game, the dynamics, the energy that we bring, the way we drive the energy in the stadium. It can affect the game, and if we start to get worried, oh no, they've just conceded, are we going to concede another, and we drop our energy, there's nothing pushing the team to really fight with everything they got. If we fight with everything we got to be as loud as we can, they're going to repay the favor to us. But that's all I want to say on that. But we can talk about it later in the lounge.
I think there's more to have in the lounge there for sure. But yeah, it's just something I want to make a point of, because it is our duty as supporters, and it's something that we can speak to specifically on this podcast. A lot of other ones can't. So just keep looking at that, guys. People notice when you're taking it a little bit easier, when you're not giving it 100%. So shout out to everybody.
And we certainly noticed. We certainly noticed as well. And Nick certainly noticed. And if
I don't
you're
want to be the only one losing my voice.
He'll come out there and give you a little,
friendly.
He'll say a little something to you.
And this is a call to action. If you want to capo, if you want to bring the energy, if you want to help us, we are definitely looking for people. Nick and I discussed maybe a closer role where you can come in and maybe the last 10 minutes, if you're somebody who feels like, hey, I got a little extra to give, to jump in the middle there and help kind of lead chance a little more. So shout out to anybody who does, do that extra little bit or saves it to really go hard at the end. And I really do appreciate you. But we got a couple other shout outs in terms of people who helped out this week.
Before the game, we had our second TIFO of the year. Which ironically enough was a little shot at El Paso that we didn't even know was going to happen. With one of their fans posting a little artwork, and so ours, but that's how we are in the locals. We're all clairvoyants, and we have the ability to see into the future, and we knew that they were actually going to do that, and we're like, okay, so choose loyalty.
Right.
Shout out to Drew, you did an absolutely incredible job.
Thanks, man. I consulted with Dr. Strange of Travis, who could see all the different timelines and chose the one that involved us being able to directly turn that around, which was fun. So it was a great design that I think came through. It's something we learned a little bit. Every time you do one of these, you learn some different stuff. It's hanging behind me right now because it's still in my presence. I think it's following me around at this point. That's what happens with these things once they're done. So shout out to everybody who put their hands on this, who came. It is something where I can coordinate, I can set it up. You can't make a TIFA by yourself. Period. Like not one person can do it. So you need a team and you need a group.
Definitely multiple days of work, right? There was a big job. A couple of days of work. With everything going on behind the scenes was leadership. There was like off and on, like, hey, we're gonna do this, and then but to see it up and see the photo at the end of the day, it feels good, right, Drew? It feels good to see your work out there.
It does, and it's just one thing where all of the problems, what I love about TIFOs is a lot like other artistic mediums. Sometimes when you're up close to it, it can feel like it's not going correctly or that things aren't being done right. And then you get to see it from that view where, everybody sees it from, and you go, oh, it really did come together. It really does look right. And everything is good. So that's, what I love about doing it is, again, getting to do it with people, having people put their ideas and put their hands and then work into this. And it's pretty awesome to see it pay off. So we'll have more this season. Again, it's something we want to do a little more regularly this year than we've done in past years, just because of resources and proximity of people getting together with what's happened the last couple of years. That's a little more available to us this season. So more to come and more exciting stuff for sure. We're looking at the next one here, right after this one. So it's always a process. But anybody who wants to get involved, always hit me up on Discord. And here's a little teaser. Maybe stick around for the lounge. And you can see a preview of the time lapse of the work that it took to make this. So, thank you so much.
I also want to shout out the runners that I shoulder tapped before the match to be like, hey, can you run the TIFO up the stairs for us? Shout out to Cisco, my boy, Pinchy Cisco, and Chris Garcia, who also did some capoing second half. So shout out to Chris Garcia twice. The runner and capo. So
2 stars.
Well, Chris deserves all the shout outs in the world. Chris is my guy. I love Chris. A couple more shout outs that I think we want to put out there. Obviously those who were on the podcast last week, Jason Radcliffe, Kim and Steve. It was obviously a rough week, rough couple of weeks, as Nick definitely alluded to. And so, just it's not always easy to jump in here, particularly when you've got a hurricane swirling around you. And so shout out to those three for doing, I think, just a tremendous job navigating all that. And a double shout out to Steve. I know that Nick gave a shout out to him earlier, but Steve just does so much as our president. And cannot.
There's so much time, so many calls, so many things that just happen behind the scenes that people just don't see that take up 30, 40 hours a week outside of life and everything else. So it can escalate, especially in weeks like that. So shout out Steve, and shout out to Jason Radcliffe again for just making sure that every week that we have something that is a home match or an away match. We have it lined up in terms of where our events are at and where everybody needs to be, and getting the information out in enough time that people can make determinations of whether they want to come or not. And that's something I know as a group struggled with in the past. I'll take ownership of that. That's partially on me. But Jason has stepped up this year and done an amazing job to continue to make sure that programming's there.
I saw that he's set up the New Mexico trip. He's been working on that recently. I will miss it. I'm going to be in the UK, unfortunately. New Mexico was the one trip that I wanted to go on, but I'm going to be away. But I saw that he set that up.
Yeah.
You got a away day there. You got an away day maybe in LA coming up here as well. So check the Discord. Stay on the localssg.com/events. So stay tuned to those areas, and we will definitely have more information coming out via email and social whenever we launch even an exploratory option for away days where we can fill out surveys and give your opinions ahead of time. So great job to him in making sure that's all coordinated moving forward. What's the next one you guys are most excited for away day wise?
I'm if I can make it work with school and everything, that's right around the time I got to finish up my thesis. But New Mexico is definitely one that I would love to be at. Again, if I can make it work with my school schedule. I've been out to New Mexico a couple times. Very, very beautiful. Definitely would love to go back out there, especially for something like this. So that's probably the one that I'm looking forward to. At least, coming up in the near future. What about y'all?
For me, hopefully we can get into the LA Galaxy game. I know that Jason is working with the club to try to twist some arms a little bit to get them to let us in. Like last year was a lot of fun taking the Peterson mobile up there, and the Galaxy fans are really, really good hosts to us. They took us in and had a good pregame in the car park with them, and then they were really gracious in their defeat, and we got our only ever penalty, so it was
the only one. Very memorable because it's the only one that's ever happened.
So I'm looking forward to that one, and of course Vegas. I want to do a Vegas trip this year.
Right. Vegas is the big one for me always, but the Land of Enchantment sounds nice, Nate. It does. It is coming up quick here, so. You do have an awesome, I believe, hotel deal that Jason set up. We have tickets set up and programmed here, so definitely plug in and check that out and look at our website as well as the Discord. And here we go. More information coming on New Mexico as well, with Colorado on the ways in July. So July 4th, I believe, it's on July 4th, or is it July 4th weekend against the Switchbacks? So that'll be a fun trip, I'm sure, for some people. That's
try to go out that one for sure.
That sounds interesting to me for sure. I think that's a definite maybe clear the weekend, maybe take a vacation day and head out to the old mountain territory. So There you go.
Yeah. No, those definitely some opportunities for road trips coming up. Cannot wait, especially because I wasn't able to do any last year with the school schedule, or I was out of town whenever there were away matches. But now that I'm graduating, I know that once the summertime hits, I'll be much more free to go on some of those away trips and get involved with some of the shenanigans, but not too much shenanigans. I think that one thing that we should just remind people of is our code of conduct, because we know that on some of these away trips, with some of this AC stuff, opposing fans might say things to us or put stuff on social media about us. And just a reminder that when you are out, on these away trips, you're not only representing yourself, but you are representing the club, you're representing us as a supporters group, and you're really representing San Diego as a whole. And whether or not people are going to talk their talk, people are going to make their jokes, but we always got to remember that, hey, we know what we're about here, and that we can't let any of that get to us, because then if you do cause some actions, again, that's going to look poorly on all of us. So again, just wanted to remind people of our code of conduct, and I know that no one here, either watching this, listening to this, or the two of you, or me included, would ever do anything like that. But I think it's just a good reminder, especially after what we saw in Liga MX about a month and a half ago, and then with some of the stuff that's getting said about us by some of the
yeah
idiots on Twitter.
Yeah,
you represent all of us, right? When you're out and about, especially when you're away like that, and there's only maybe a handful of we hope it was more, right? We always hope we have 50 locals there, right? But even then, each one of you is representing probably another 4 or 10 people, within the group, depending on even how large the away party is, and so just remember that you're representing a lot of locals when you're there in a way. So just always something to keep in mind is how that reflects. And we want people to think that we're the best traveling away fans that they want to hang out with wherever we go. So.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet more supporters groups this year. I
Because
the New Mexico fan group when they came here last year.
Awesome.
Perfect people. That's why I was so excited for the May 7th trip out there, but then going away on vacation. But I'm excited to meet new supporters groups, and it's going to be great. But yeah, nice scarf, Drew.
Oh yeah, I think we can wear some nice merch out there to New Mexico or wherever we're going, right? The nice thing is when we roll into town, people want our scarves, they want our merch. They're a little bit jealous of our color scheme. I think we tend to have nailed it in that direction, so people are always pretty jealous. Speaking of which, down at the Merch Mansion this week, I stopped by, able to have some lunch, say I had a couple fiend friends, and pick up my season ticket holder scarf, which is a compendium of every single neighborhood or city or incorporation in the county of San Diego. I believe it is a pretty fantastic scarf.
Is that the season ticket one, or is that the one they were giving away at the games?
Because it's the one that's being given away at the games / the season ticket holder scarf.
So I saw today that the season ticket scarves have just come in, and
I saw that
different design to that one. So season ticket holders, make sure you swing by the office, by the shop, and pick up your season ticket scarves. They are a different design to those ones I saw today.
There you go. So you have all of these scarves. This one
never have too many scarves.
Misprint.
Never have too many.
Never have too many scarves. So
I want to get the Cholo Vista one. Yeah, just to have it as a little souvenir. Be like,
apparently they're all gone. I asked for one, but this one does have Tuna River on it. So as opposed to Tijuana River, there is Tuna River still on there. TUUNA. So you can get that one out here. Yeah. But as Nick said, I misspoke. But this is one of the scarves that you might be able to pick up, as I know they're still giving them away here and there as well. So stop by the shop. You don't know what you're going to get.
All the scarves.
Yes, tomorrow this is a very short turnaround for you either watching or listening to this on a Wednesday, but there is an opportunity to pick up your stuff, I believe. So just contact the club and look into that. But again, their shop hours are always a little bit floated during the week and a little bit more open towards the weekend, just for anybody whoever wants to stop by Mission Valley in the shop there. Next to Shake Shack as a landmark.
Holders check your emails, and it should be in the email.
There you go.
Well, gentlemen, we've got a pretty big day tomorrow, don't we?
Ooh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, we are going to be, it's again a historic moment for this club and for I think this soccer in this city as well. As we have our Open Cup match tomorrow against Albion at Canyon Crest Academy up near my neck of the woods. Canyon Crest is over in Carmel Valley. I'm just over in Penasquitas. Unfortunately, likely, I will not be there in attendance tomorrow because I have my cultural leadership class tomorrow evening, but I will be watching it on my laptop. Do not tell my professor. But yeah, I don't know, just quick thoughts about tomorrow. Y'all excited? Like, what's the vibe for tomorrow? What are y'all thinking?
I'm vibing hard, man. This is what I love about soccer, right? The smaller teams going up against bigger teams, different divisions going up against each other. That's the beauty of the cup. That's the beauty of the cup, baby. We've already seen a couple of cup sets today because the second round started today. We've already seen a couple of cup sets. Hoping that we take it seriously and we don't disrespect Albion and we put in a good shift tomorrow. It's cool that an away day is right here in San Diego.
And but I really love what you're saying about how can't disrespect them, because for them, I mean, again, no disrespect to them, but this is a huge game for them, and they know that if they upset us, then they're like, okay, now here's an opportunity for us to grow as a club. If people see, oh wow, they upset San Diego Loyal. So yeah, we absolutely have got to take it seriously. Would like to see a little bit of rotation, just because it's like what you were saying, Drew, with the amount of games that we have coming up over the next week. But again, you can never, in any sport, you can never disrespect your opponents, because they're always going to get up for a game like this. But I'm just excited that we get to be a part of this, because this is our third year in existence. But because the Open Cup has not happened the last 2 years, this is our first opportunity to play in the Open Cup. So definitely very, very excited to be a part of something that, you cannot tell the story of American soccer without talking about the Open Cup. So very, very excited that we get an opportunity to play, and that it truly is an Open Cup. I remember a few years ago when they tried to do like the 16 or like 24 team tournament. I'm like, that's not an Open Cup, So very, very excited that we get an opportunity to participate in this year's version of it. And then before the match, we have a little pregame soiree that will be going on at Pacific Social at 5 p.m.
Also the pre-game spot for the Albion supporters group, so we'll get to intermingle.
Yep.
And just celebrate San Diego soccer.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends that are in the Albion supporters group, so I wish I could see them tomorrow, but unfortunately will not be there. But I've never actually been to Pacific Social, but I was talking to my sister about it earlier today. She's never been there either, but we hear it's a good spot, fun spot to hang out at. So that will take place at 5 p.m. is when when we'll be meeting up at Pacific Social. Just like we do at Coronado, hang out, talk, have a couple drinks. And then following that, we're going to have our march to the match at 6:45. So we're going to be marching from Pacific Social to Canyon Crest Academy. Not too far of a walk at all. Just treating it like any regular match day, because again, like you were saying, Nick, can't disrespect the opponent just because they're playing at a high school stadium, they're a lower league team, but just like the club just like the team cannot say, hey, we're gonna disrespect our opponent by maybe not bringing our all. We got to do the same thing, because like you were saying, Nick, the club follows, the players on the pitch are following the energy that's in the stadium. And so we can't go out there and say, all right, well, we're not going to give our full for the 90 and then expect them to do the same thing. So just we want the players to do that. We also have to do that in our section as well. I don't know, Drew, do you have any thoughts about tomorrow?
It's my birthday, so that'll be fun.
Birthday.
Oh, that's right.
Not really.
29? 30?
Yeah, it's 17 again. I'm just like Zac Efron in that one movie. The no one should ever watch. Yeah. It'll be a great game. It's fun. It's just down the road from where I went to high school. So for me, it is kind of a fun personal day. But generally, I think that it'll be, hopefully, I asked the coach, I said, can I get a cake on the field like they got for I think it was one of the players in a video where he's like, I'll get you a win. I was like, better, good, yes. So hopefully he delivers his promise for us in getting us a win, not just for me but for all of us, because I do think this is the first step to what a lot of us are hoping is a push up in terms of stature for the club and an ability to take on bigger clubs like MLS clubs. And show them that we have a really complete and great way of playing that can compete at that level in some ways, at least maybe within a 90-minute span with some of these clubs. So I'm excited. This will be the first step for us. And the thing that I was most excited for, honestly, when we got a USL club was having a US Open trajectory, or having the ability to go that way. So this will be fun. Let's go, man. That's tomorrow, and let's go. Let's invade Canyon Crest Academy, a school that did not exist when I graduated high school. So
all I can say is CJ Fodry or we riot. All right.
We want Fodry all game. It'll be interesting. Squad rotation. I think that's my big question. Is, right, a squad rotation. Do we see a CJ? Do we see players we wouldn't normally see, because it is a second game in a 6-day 3-game week? So. That's the question here for me mainly, is that. But ideally, you want to get a goal or two early, and then hopefully have a party, right? That's my goal. Hopefully we're lighting candles and as flares. Or smoke. I don't know. Maybe something. We'll see. Who knows?
I know that we have a section in the stadium I believe.
Right.
Highlighted in yellow in this beautiful graphic taken from space, especially for us. Thanks, Steve.
We hired a drone for this, right?
Thanks, Steve, for working on satellites so that we can take these photos. So yeah, that's where we'll be sitting, in that section there.
Right. I believe we'll be parking under those
nice.
solar panels there as well. So that is kind of the proximity. And then across the street to the west there is where that shopping center is if you are meeting up for pregame. So just a little overview. This is our Google Maps session here. If you are listening to the podcast and it is past Wednesday, we apologize. But again, useful information for anybody going tomorrow is that definitely show up a little bit early just to get a lay of the land and hopefully join us at Pacific Social.
The picture is in the Discord under the events page, so have and on the website. So have a gaze.
And find us there on that side of the stadium.
Yeah.
I believe that's the north side of the stadium.
Dude.
I think based on the geography of that picture, let's say, but yes, we'll go with
that.
Follow moss
People
on
figure
the
it
side
out.
of that tree.
Yeah.
Yes, follow trees with moss on them.
So we've talked to Albion and they have said that we're allowed drums and flags. They said they're okay with drums and flags. So just look for the loyal colored flags as we march in.
And if you don't see us, you'll definitely hear us.
Yes.
Definitely hear us. So we got that match tomorrow, and then we got another one coming up on Saturday, like we said. Squad rotation, hopefully, against Charleston Battery.
We have one of our boys coming home.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this Augie Williams revenge season?
We'll find out.
Oh, yeah. But again, like this is a team that I'll be honest, I don't know too much about, so I'm excited to see them play. And this is what I like now about the fact that we're back to kind of a normal USL season, is that we get to face some of those teams that we didn't face last year because things were so much more, so much more geographical. So this is a team that definitely excited to see, and I think it'll be good to see Augie Williams back. Certainly someone that did a lot for us
have some
last
sweet tea in the morning. Watch Charleston versus the Bulls. So
I probably couldn't even tell you where Charleston is in the States.
Do you not? Yeah, this is a fun game with the. Do you know?
Can I take a guess?
Which state Charleston is in?
Yeah, see if you can
let me take a guess. So it's on the East Coast. So I know that much.
Right. Okay.
Charleston. Sounds a bit more south. I'm gonna say it's one of the Carolinas. South Carolina. I want to say South Carolina.
Good guess. I was going to say 50-50 once he got to Carolina, pretty much.
Am I right?
Well done.
Is that right?
Good job. Yes.
Good
well
there.
done.
Yeah.
I figured you'd end up in Georgia or one of the Carolinas, but you nailed it.
I skipped trivia to come to do this podcast, so I need to.
See, you got to get your trivia fix out anyway. Yeah. But again, this is going to be a good test against us. Again, it's a team that we don't really see a ton. And so, very excited to see them. But, they just judging from stuff like power rankings, they don't seem to be as good as us. We have been making moves in the USL power rankings. We are, we're in the top 3 right now. Like to see us make moves towards that number 1 spot. But, hey, power rankings, essentially, I don't put too much stock into power rankings because it's all what like 1 or 2 people think. I just care more about the actual standings and how we're playing on the actual pitch. But it is nice to see recognition from the league. People are taking notice, being like, hey, those boys in San Diego mean business this year. We mean business.
Speaking of meaning business and number 1 spot, most goals in the league so far, boys, with 10 goals.
That's a great stat to have because I think that's what we've struggled with mainly the last couple seasons. So to have that at the gate, have the players who are making the goals signed to the roster where they can't really leave. I think those are all kind of good signs, right?
That's a huge one for me.
Where we've been in the past, right?
Not relying on loan players to be scoring these goals because, again, with loans, like Drew exactly, just eloquently stated, there's a chance for them to go back to their clubs at any moment. So the fact that we got guys that are here and that are here for the season and potentially for the future, we'll see. The fact that those guys are the guys that are contributing, I think, is massive towards not only the success of the club this year, but success of the club going forward.
Right. You get a CJ Fodry scoring maybe 1 or 2 goals this season. You get a then you're building again for the future where you're getting confidence. Success begets success, especially in a roster like this. So that's what we're hoping for here. Again, it's just top-down goal scoring menaces.
Good to see Toomey open his account for the season on Sunday. Good to see the new guys scoring.
See the Fiend himself, Mr. Vassal. How was that post-game celebration? So I'm now excited. I just want him to win to see what happens next time he comes up as man of the match. So that's the fun development here. Or does somebody try and one up it?
He's definitely set the bar high.
Yeah, definitely. Right. So
I know that Travis.
That's one reason just to come Saturday.
Travis wasn't exactly happy about
having a heart attack when he poured that beer.
Yeah,
that's some good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also kind of sticky.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I hope that Kyle jumped immediately in the shower after getting all that beer.
After a game, right?
We gotta when the schedule gets a bit more not so hectic, we got to get the players to come to O'Brien's afterwards.
Absolutely, then they can drink the good stuff.
When they have a Sunday off, when they don't have another game till a while. We've got to get them to come to O'Brien's.
A lot of those breaks are U.S. Open Cup dates, though. So that is also where, if you look at the schedule, there's breaks, and that's where maybe we hope they don't get one for a little bit and keep that going. So definitely appreciate anybody who's coming either Wednesday, tomorrow, or Saturday here to the matches. It's going to be a fun weekend all around the county. Again, we'll be at Coronado pregame for this match. There is no parking lot for this match, so we will be at Coronado pregame. And then typically that starts around 4-ish, right, guys? Typically people start rolling in around then.
And then 4 o'clock.
Yeah, about every game. If we are not doing anything at the stadium, which is more often these days. And then O'Brien's will be after the match as usual on Saturday. So that is your lineup for Saturday evening. Any other information you guys got for Saturday besides the march being at its usual time at the fountain at 6:35 there?
Bring the energy.
I was gonna say, in the words of Public Enemy, bring the noise. Come on.
Bring the energy. Bring the noise.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm gonna need help because I'm gonna have no voice by Saturday.
That's right. We need reinforcement. So warm it up, guys. I want to see auditions tomorrow on Wednesday, and we're gonna put you in on Saturday. That's how this is gonna work. So be prepared tomorrow to give it your all, so that we can then. Give you a shot there on Saturday to lead some chants, but
no, tomorrow's Oh, sorry, Drew. I was gonna say, auditions for tomorrow. It's tomorrow's like the minors, and then by Saturday you might be getting that call up to the big leagues.
Yep.
Right.
I pressed and jumped up to LA Galaxy the other day.
Shout out to Nick, who does an absolutely tremendous job capoing every single week. This man is, I don't know how he does it, and got a lot of respect for you, brother.
Thanks. I just love embarrassing my wife, and that's why I do it.
I feel like
I think it's partially that. It seems like you're almost compelled. Like the power of the locals compels you sometimes just to. I've seen it leap out of you, my friend, when even we went to the soccer's championship last year, and you couldn't help but rattle the glass and take it out. So you are a born capo, I believe. Yes.
I like yelling. I just like yelling.
That's right.
And
some capos are made. Nick was born a capo, I believe. I think he came out chanting Dale Dale San Diego before the team even existed.
Before I even knew I was moving here.
That's right. It's just all a self-fulfilling timeline here, just like our TIFO discussion. So in terms of showing up there again here tomorrow, just making sure that everybody gets there a little bit earlier just to sort it out, because, again, it'll be probably different than anything we've ever experienced and different than anything they've ever done there. And then, again, just if you are coming to the match tomorrow as well, just to plant a little seed in your head, John, who helps produce this podcast here, he's our director here tonight and does a fantastic job and also makes some fantastic videos under Big Pine Digital, our soccer shorts. If you check him out, Digital Soccer Shorts here on YouTube. Has made some stuff about our group, has also made some stuff about stuff around town that you should definitely check out if you're a soccer fan. We are both looking for people to contribute to a U.S. Open Cup project. So the furthest that we go, we want people to put in some videos, to put in experiences, things like that, so that we can gather footage. We hope that both of us can go to most of the games to gather footage ourselves, but if there's a chance where we can't go to the game, or it's my birthday and maybe I'm not the most coherent tomorrow, for instance, it'd be great to be able to get some of that footage or some of those memories and be able to bring those together, and just have a multiple different angles to this run. And John's going to do an awesome job of stitching that together, as he always does. So we will put a folder out for that within the Discord and make sure that you know about where to put that kind of footage if you have it, but it's just an open call. If you're somebody who likes to take video or capture that kind of stuff, definitely let us know and feel free to contribute there however much you can.
And I think we're definitely getting to, because I'm speaking into existence right now. We're going on a deep run. We're going on a deep run.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Like, at least one MLS club.
That's right.
I'm trying to knock out a couple, man. I'm trying to be in CONCACAF Champions League next year, boy.
The first USL club to ever be in CONCACAF Champions.
Yeah.
Let's
go, and then bring on some of those League MX teams. But getting a little too far ahead of myself right here.
That's right.
Again, just very excited, amped up about not only tomorrow but just the direction that the club is going. I think that this team is just built different. There have been times this year where I think, no offense to any of the players that were on teams from the last couple of years, but there have been moments throughout this season where teams have scored a late goal against us, and you think, all right, is this going to deflate us? But the team says, nah, we're going to keep pushing and keep doing what needs to be done to get that win. So yeah, that's why I'm feeling that this team can make a deep Open Cup run, is because this squad is, like I said, just built different. Anyway, anything else that you guys want to touch on before we head into the lounge, locals after hours? Or,
no, sir. I might be able to throw up that time lapse here somewhere in there. So if you want to check that out, hang out, and we'll have some discussion, I'm sure, about anything anyone wants to talk about, either in the last week or what your favorite a question I put on Twitter before. What's your favorite fictional use of pizza in pop culture? So we've got some fun answers to that we'll run down and put in our own notes ourselves. So thanks everybody for hanging out here on a Tuesday. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And hopefully on Saturday as well. But reach out to us, let us know if there's any way you want to help contribute to what we're doing here. And again, thanks to my boys Nate and Nick for joining me here tonight for what I call a birthday privilege to be able to pull you guys both in for the podcast and do this together. Buddy. So wouldn't want anybody else to do it together. So I appreciate you guys being on here. And
it's the Pizza Bros. It's the Pizza Bros. If you hang around,
shouldn't it be like a slice of pizza?
Yeah, like a pizza slice.
Well, this is like the Jay-Z.
For anybody listening,
this is like the Rock, the Jay-Z. But if you hang around for the lounge, you'll understand why we have the nickname the Pizza Bros. And also, slight plug, the three of us, well, usually Nick and I, and sometimes Drew, go to lunch every single Monday at 11:30 at Best Pizza and Brew. So if you can ever make it, please.
Open invitation.
Open invitation to everyone.
To join the Pizza Bros.
Yes,
we got some female Pizza Bros as well.
Pizza Bros are non-gender discriminatory. For everyone. We had Kim join us last week as well, our host from last week. So
Cheerio Bar is a Pizza Bro.
Exactly. That's right. Jump into
Tom
the Pizza Bro movement.
Unfortunately, is a Pizza Bro.
That's right. We might have T-shirts made like fiends. That might be a new subgroup that's going to happen here. Is the Pizza Bros.
But anyway, gentlemen, thank you to both of you for tonight. Thank you to everyone who listened to the live show. Hope that you'll hang around for the lounge. Thank you to everyone who's listening on podcast form. Special shout out to my parents who are going to end up listening to this on podcast form. So yeah, I just want to give them a shout out. Love you. Yeah. Love you, Mom and Dad. I can hear my dad like yelling in the next room. It's actually like kind of annoying. He's watching the Laker game right now, but anyway, we'll wrap things up here. And then, before we wrap things up here, just in case, people don't hang around for the lounge and don't know how to reach out to us on social media. Nick, do you want to plug your social media right now?
Yes, my Twitter is the Kiwi Nick with no K, so NIC, the Kiwi Nick, and my Instagram is just Nick Duffy, my name, all one word.
Drew, where can the people find you?
At Drew Stork, STORK, like the bird. Drew, like just random dude that's short for Andrew.
And then you can find me. Oh, sorry, Drew.
No, I was just gonna say that it's the worst possible explanation of that. But yeah, on anything, it doesn't really matter. Usually on Twitter, I don't really engage with much of the Facebook platforms these days. So Twitter is where you'll
you
find
can find me on Twitter at nwiggins11, at Instagram at nwiggins11, and then you can follow us on the locals. You can go to our website, thelocalssg.com, and then you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at thelocalssg. And then for those of you who are members and want to join our Discord, you can find all the links to that on those various social media sites. Well, thank you once again to everyone who tuned into the live show, who's listening. Again, special shout out to my mom and dad. Love y'all so much. And I love you too, Drew and Nick.
And I love Cisco. This is not a paid advertisement.
Anyway, yes, y'all hang around for about 5 minutes, and then we'll get started with the lounge, the locals after hours. Again, thank you so much to everyone who listened, tuned in. We love y'all, and we'll see you on the other side. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, big ears.
Any day, go forever.